Hello, 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 and welcome to this session of the Council of Tamrinor. My name is John, and I am joined by Sean, by Ben,
Greetings, adventurers. It's good to see you.
and by Tannie.
Hi, I'm Jeff now.
And we are here to continuing what I have titled the Tavern-ing. Basically, last time Jeff and I sat down and we looked at some of the questions that I've come up with as I've been writing the notes from the note form that you've seen, this note form, into the book. And we answered some of them. And I'm going to allow that. Hey, Rogue.
Here's a rogue.
Throwing me off my game here. Howdy, howdy. We're going to continue the taverning, wherein we're going to name the taverns for everything. Everywhere that it makes sense to have a tavern on that list south of Southaven. But first, we're going to go over the list of questions that we answered last time, and fill in some of the blanks. Last time we answered what event started the calendar, and we settled on the Alliance of Casimir. We have settled now that the date at the start of the campaigns that we are going to start and the date that the campaign setting is going to be in reference to is 634 by Alliance years, or in the Unity calendar. I think Ben suggested before we started the Unity calendar as sort of the shorthand for it, and I quite like that. 634 UC. The plague that originated in Lawfell that wiped out Tor Point was titled Violet Rot. It causes you to grow large violet boils and generally smell of rotting flesh before you pass away from it. It's a lovely thing.
Ew. Gross.
Lawfell was called Raven's Seat before Lortak fell, about 150 years prior to the events of nowadays. Raven's Seat was named for a very old king who reigned at some point before Casimir came to power, but that is before people started writing down stories, and so we don't know what they did, other than being a king. What I would like to say is, we had the question. I've got the question. What is the name of the planet? Because early in the book, I make reference to the fact that Tamrinor is a continent. It is not the name of the planet. It is the name of a mega continent on a planet. We know that there is at least one other continent. I'm going to assume 2 or 3 other continents. Like it's. We don't need to settle an exact number on this, but we know that there is another body of land out there. Right?
I think so.
I reckon it'll be multiple when it comes down to it. It's just that, as well as that, depends on how far they've been able to travel thus far.
I mean, I'm thinking mostly for the fact that you've got things like the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide that deals with not even the entire continent, but one very specific part of the continent. You've got things like the Wild Mount Explorers thing that deals with one specific continent on a specific planet. The Taldore Campaign Guide, one continent on the same planet as the other thing I said. We don't need to settle on what else is out there. To be fair, doing an entire continent before we even play the game is a lot of world building that doesn't necessarily need to be done. We could have settled on building rock bottom as far as we've done it, and then start building and then go from there. Start playing and go from rock bottom out. Not to derail, but there is precedent for both stories being older than writing and other methods. I'm not saying that there isn't there aren't necessarily things, but at the moment we don't know what he did. What is the name of the planet? So I'm asking, what is the name of the planet? And again, I'm going to go with the same thing I said to Jeff. This isn't necessarily what everybody calls it. This isn't necessarily what aliens from a third person, like aliens looking at the world, call it this. I want to know, for the sake of being able to put a name to the setting, I want a name for the planet. And Tannie has sent me a list, and Sean has another list.
I have just random things I'll just blurt out every now and again.
Yeah! I mean, like, the idea is that
to make it easier, I've sent John my list as well.
Oh, Sean has sent me the list as well. Cool.
I mean, the fact would be cool is that if we don't agree with certain names within the name, we can always combine it with other things, as you said about Tamrinor. So
I mean, that's also
just be like,
another...
oh, that bit with that bit would be so cool together, or
So looking at Tannie's list, I'm going to start with Tannie's list because that's the list I've had longest time to look at and work out the way that I would pronounce these names, which is how I do things. Rothnia, Edoril, Kathamos, Entrinia. I like those four.
Yeah.
I like the Entrinia, though if I was going to place the other ones, they sound more like just generic place names, but the Inferia actually sounds very
nice. Yeah, I'd say the same. That one is the one.
Entrinia.
That's the one that sounds more like a planet to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the ones that I like, there's Kaltane, Dalerin, Anruin, and Anteros. There's also Etril, Heartheim, Dutos. I think that was it, really.
That was it.
The rest of them. Yeah, but I didn't think of anything else. But Antrinia, Heartheim. I mean, like, if these certain names don't make it to as like the planet name, we can always use them for like little villages and such, which is another cool thing about it.
Sean has also sent me a list.
Let's hear him.
Again, I don't know if Sean has pronunciations for any of these or not, but
they were spawned in. So,
Canis, Lorelei, Zumia, Peoria, Athia, Vigern, Odrawai, Zetus.
Odrawai? How would you spell that?
Odruwei.
Okay.
the Lorelei or the Laura.
I think it's the Lorelei is the Lorelia. I think that
Lorelia.
Lorelia.
Lorilia.
The only reason that one sort of holds an interest to me is whether that's more like a renamed name. Once again, the whole concept of Lorfell, almost claiming that the planet is law-free now. The law, in which case it's sort of like taking from another one of the race's language, as it were. Very much how other language we tend to do in all languages, where we steal from people and sort of adjust into. That kind of has that sort of thing, that we are now a planet rid of law.
I think for that particular name, I would put that down as another place name. Because I don't want the singular thing of the entire planet to be this one guy who did a thing 150 years ago.
No. Once again, it's more along the lines of that until everyone agrees, there has multiple names. And I don't know whether we would be at a position where they would all agree. Now, in our mind, once again, so this is more like a nickname of the planet rather than it being the name of the planet, if that makes sense.
I would still put that down as this is a potential for a place name that we have not
No,
yet
I grant you that.
placed.
I grant you that. Once again, I mean, the reason why I'm pushing forward is I'm not too sure whether everyone would agree exactly what the planet is called. Obviously, we're coming up with a name which we agree, and it is going to have that name eventually. But I don't know whether we're entirely at that point just yet, or whether this is something which would be sort of introduced, as it were. If that makes sense.
I'm leaning towards Entrinia.
It's a good name.
Entrinia is such a good name for it, I think. It feels planet-wise. It feels like a good planet name.
Sure?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
Oh, good.
Entrinia. And yes, as said, we'll keep the other place names for place names. Okay. Let's get down to business.
To defeat the buns.
Staros.
Obviously joined the wrong stream.
Staros is the next place. Do they have a tavern?
Oh, fuck yeah, they have to.
Okay.
Tyrus, for crying out loud. They'll probably have several taverns, actually, more than the average amount of taverns in other places, I feel like.
Let me remind myself, how was I writing it? Yeah, like that. Okay.
I would almost place down that pretty much every single ship is its own version of a tavern.
I mean, I suppose
the ship names as you go.
I suppose more accurately, my question on that front is, do they have tavern that is open for someone who is not from Staros?
Yes.
Once again, I would say that they are all open to people who are not from Staros. Whether you're going to be safe and be able to get out of them is a different matter.
Yeah.
Okay,
They'll always take you in, but whether or not they let you leave is a different matter entirely. The other thing to try and help what I think you're aiming for tonight is I would also think there would be a main ship, a main location that is effectively almost like a meeting point of all these others which come together.
Oh, like the big guy, the big ship of
exactly.
proper galleon style.
It's effectively almost like saying the Pirate King's ship. It is the one who is in charge ship is the main galleon, and it will always be stocked full of ales. It should have with meats and manner and stuff.
It should have like an interesting name, but also be more likely like more kind of like a ship name as a thing, like the Hull or something like that, or the Crow's Nest, because of like the tip of the tallest part of the ship is the crow's nest, like maybe call it the crow's nest or something, where it's the top guy, where the big bit is, where the head of all pirates, the king of the pirates, are there. Where certain large meetings or anything that is eventful will go there and then spreads down.
Unless we throw in for a myth of the pirates, because you take a look at our own history and the mythology of our own pirates is quite an interesting one by itself. And you anything like the Davy Jones locker and such like that. If they would have something...
just to interrupt for a second, Ben. For the sake of the chat, Staros is a town built into a cliff where they have... I apparently need to gesture with my hands higher up. Staros is a town built into a cliff where old pirate ships have been pulled up onto land and lashed together to form a town out of the old ships. We're not putting a tavern on a fleet of ships. It is a fleet of ships that has become a town. Just for the sake of answering the question that was in the chat before we got too far away from it. Ben, continue.
So, what I would end up thinking is going along with the mythology which is in our world, for the sake, something along the lines of this version's Davy Jones locker or Davy Jones something or other. We would need a pirate's name, effectively, and I don't know. You could place it down as its key, which would be the keyhole of the ship, or something along those lines. Because I do like that idea of taking a key factor of the ship that, without it, it fails. Without it, it is destroyed, as it were.
Yeah.
And so you just, in which case, do we have a pirate's name of myth and legend that we could throw in? Because obviously they would have their own
list
mythos.
of names.
Because I don't think we actually did, unless it's one of the ones which I missed.
I'm pretty sure we don't.
We haven't named them yet, but that doesn't stop us from naming them at the moment. And looking at my list of names, we could do Lucian Nightflame, Nyx Emberglow, Draven. Somebody's using that one, maybe.
Yeah.
Astaroth Darkspine.
Ooh, Astaroth. Interesting.
Torin Ironheart.
I was thinking more like not just like because we've had like certain interesting one, you know, like Blackbeard, or like something like Astaroth the Red or Astaroth the
Going back to what you just said a moment ago there, Darkspine.
Darkspine's pretty cool.
That
Blackbeard, Darkspine.
Exactly, and just then I'm thinking as well, the ship, how this main ship, which was one of the first destroyed but largest around, which has been dragging these other ones in and around it, and it's I don't even know what the ship part's called, but when it can then effectively the main part of its rib has been effectively carved into that dark spine, burnt and crisped to make the spine of its ship the whole way through, and at the key part it has a great skull, which they, going along with the mythos of Blackbeard, effectively to sort of place in to try and intimidate, is made so that it will light and have fire glowing from its eyes and smoke billowing out of its mouth.
And the fire isn't like a normal color.
No,
green or purple or blue.
Once again, made to make it look as supernatural as possible.
Yeah, you got to have a little bit of like witchy like magic, because there's like certain like the mythologies. There's like certain like kind of like
and pulling
that
from
kind
the
of
mythos
fear
of
kind of things.
To throw it in there, Darkspine's Keel.
Ooh, yes, I like
That's a cool one. Darkspine Keel. How do you spell Keel?
Keel. Keel is the large wooden strut that runs the length of a boat.
That could work.
I think that works quite nicely.
The lengthwise timber or steel structure along the base of a ship supporting the framework of the hull, in some vessels extended downwards as a ridge to increase stability. So it would be basically the very bottom main section of the boat.
Very nice.
And a hull supports the whole thing.
So
Break it, then you're fucked.
the tavern is called Dark Spine's Keel. So is this is the main meeting point of the pirates? It's where the pirate council meets? Is that what we're saying?
I would say so. In fact, this is one of the largest ships. This is the pirate councils would meet. This is where all these great meetings would come together.
I'm assuming this will be the Pirate King's actual ship.
Yes.
So my guess is that it will be somewhere in the middle. It's not a tavern. It literally is like almost like the stronghold of all of it before, like Tavern-ing. Like the stronghold of it all with
God, I tell you one other thing. I would love to come up with our own version of the pirate rules. That effectively, for instance, in particular, Dark Spine's Keel is probably the only guaranteed safe space until the Pirate King says otherwise.
Yeah, if you disrespect the Pirate King or any its family, it's like
it's literally along those lines that everyone is welcome until the Pirate King says you're not.
Do we have a name for the Pirate King yet? Because I don't think I've recorded it. I have a name.
We haven't got any pirate names at all yet. So
no, because the fact is that, like, as you know, Star Rose was originated from the storyline that I was going for, with the actual idea that we're going for, and I already had a name for the Pirate King, and I don't know whether we want to keep it or not. But the name was called Mobius. He was called Mobius Aurelius. So, like, if there's ever an interest, yeah. He was literally the Pirate King, but that's all up to you guys, really.
And it does have a nice ring to it, I've got to say.
Yeah, God.
Especially Mobius Aurelius, the Pirate King. So we place in something running
Sean.
king. Yep.
You were going to say something, Sean.
I've got a pirate name generator going right now.
Oh, cool.
Oh, what do you got?
I got. Admittedly, all of them are first name, nickname, surname, and admittedly, many of them are set in reality.
Okay.
So you've got like Wickham Old.
We can work around that.
You've got like Odell the Handsome Artemis.
Oh, I like that one.
I've got. Admittedly, we're saying Pirate King, but I do have Jessie Goddess Chatham.
I love that one.
Oh, that has an interesting side of it. So, claiming that our Pirate King or Pirate's high rank or whatever we end up placing them is effectively someone who takes on all of the particular artifacts and such like that. They place themselves as a man-made god, as it were.
Do you know another thing I thought, interestingly enough? The Pirate King doesn't have to be a man. It can always be the title, and it can always be like a gender neutral. Like, as in, like, whoever takes the Pirate King stasis, it can always be any kind of gender. The Pirate King is just literally a title. It doesn't have to be changed.
Sorry, what was Jessie's surname, Sean?
Jessie Goddess Chatham.
Chatham.
Okay. 1 second.
Eudora Cruel Fisk.
The other thing I should place in is because their name would be long, obviously they wouldn't do the whole thing. To recognize the prior kings, they always place in what number in their line they are.
Yeah.
Can we at least have
There
one of
has
the
been
pirate
one of-
kings to be Mobius? Because I need that.
Oh
as
no,
a
we
s-
can absolutely have that
as-
as a history. I like Mobius.
I need Mobius in there.
Because yeah, it was an interesting one. So I like that name. It has such a good ring to it. And
Okay,
once again, they
so
just sort of come with their own little characters. But yeah, so I would say that it would be the current Pirate King is Jesse the Goddess Chatham, 7th Pirate King, or whatever Pirate King we want to throw, depending on how long we say their line has been going for. I would love for there also be one Pirate King who refused to acknowledge the prior Pirate Kings and didn't last that long.
could I get a brief description of Jessie? What is she like?
I feel like she needs to have red hair.
I was going to say red hair.
Yeah,
Red is a classic.
she's definitely a red-headed woman.
Redhead, she always has a shit-eating grin. I don't want to put shit-eating grin. I mean, maybe a knowing smirk is the best way to describe it.
I would say as well a decorated scar.
Yes.
Whether it's particularly painted or whatnot, or whether it's been sort of tattooed to sort of... Actually...
Is it a sword fight scar on her cheek that she gets like...
Effectively, yes, it is from a sword fight. I would like it to be and as a suggestion, I would like it to be almost like in a slightly S shape, which he has then had someone tattoo a dragon on.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
So,
or maybe not a dragon, but maybe like a sea creature, a very well-known sea creature.
I was thinking like a sea dragon, to be fair.
Or like some sort of Leviathan.
Exactly, yes. Yeah. But it's to accentuate the scar and almost bring your eye to it so that you cannot not notice this great scar on her face.
And then she always like take the piss out saying, "What the fuck are you looking at? You're looking at my face.
Exactly.
You're looking at my scar, mate."
Because that would be another little thing, like it could be their own subtle joke. No one really knows on what the true intention is, but it is always brought up if you end up finding yourself staring at it.
My question is, can she be muscular? Like, can she be like a giant woman?
No, I forbid this. She cannot be muscular.
Why not?
I mean, to be fair, that was the other thing which I was tempted to say is effectively as a part of their mythos, almost the reason why they got the nickname the Goddess of sorts, is where they showed a phenomenal feat of strength, godly-like strength, where they had grabbed one of the cannons and basically pulled it to the other side.
Hang on, wait, so what Sean say? What do you say, Sean?
I'm liking the idea of the feat of strength, but I think it would be even better if she doesn't look strong. Like the reason that she's like goddess is the fact that, for all intents and purposes, she shouldn't have been able to lift that. I don't know, that beam. She's really slight, but
she's like a dainty little pretty lady, really
strong.
You would think she's like a pretty princess, dainty pretty princess, but she's actually got like fucking strong strength. We'd like, what the fuck?
Like she's an absolute
fucking brute, but she doesn't look it.
I feel like she would make a really good punch, and probably like destroy the wall.
Yeah,
I love her already. Like, I want her to
punch through decking, or like she could be like her weapon of choice could be like a giant fucking club or something.
Oh no! Even better than that, she doesn't go in with the weapon. She picks something up on the way.
Oh god, yeah.
Timber or something like. So she is known to never hold a weapon. She chooses something to become a weapon.
Yeah.
Oh, hell fucking yeah. I love that.
Okay.
I want her to crush my head with her thighs now.
Okay.
Just don't let Michael hear this.
We need King is Doctor Who. I feel if Darkspine's keel is the center of the town, it is the oldest ship. I'm going to throw it out there just for the sake of Tannie's here and will probably want to hear this, but I'm going to throw it out there that the first pirate king, if Jesse is the seventh pirate king, the first pirate king who established Staros is Mobius Darkspine.
I like that.
Mobius
I like that.
Aurelius, aka Darkspine. I think that
Mobius
would be cool.
Aurelius the Dark
I have this
Spine.
really
You should make
interesting
it that.
set. I really have this interesting like his ship would have the dark spine, but the outfit he wears, where it shows on the back of his jacket, has a dark spine. It's like filled with power, and unfortunately, it's buried with him because no one wants that. He wants nobody to touch that fucker.
I think we need a second tavern in Staros that is not in the center of town, that is on the edges, on the outskirts. Obviously, it's still a pirate town. It's dangerous to get there, but the one that's slightly easier to get to than in Town Hall.
I do like an idea of a singular ship which has been dragged up higher than the rest and is effectively overlooking the town.
Yeah, the crow's nest. I really want to. I like the idea where there's
Exactly. I
like
one
the name
ship
of the
that is
crow's
high.
nest.
Because the moment you
Like-
called it the crow's nest, it's like, well, this one wouldn't really be that, but
It is
just
way up
having
there.
that one which is just high and all that sort of thing, and because of it, it's a little bit of a lighter one where it can still be dangerous, but it's not as dangerous as others because it's not as frequently traveled as the others.
And also, my also interest idea would be is that it's almost kind of like a tourist spot. Because it's the crow's nest, you see everything. You're more chance to see everything below you, so it's like almost like kind of a tourist resort area.
I
It's
was going to
like-
sort of
it's-
play. Oh, yep.
I'm immediately imagining it if it's a tourist. They've tried their best to make it look pretty.
Yes, they don't know
But
anything about
It's
decorations.
the whole thing. If you can't polish a turd, it's like it looks like it looks decrepit, and like it's got like a big crow's nest sticking out the top, but it's slightly wonky. It's like,
It's fucking hilarious.
and it's like,
I-
but they've tried. It's like they know they've painted it pink, maybe, and it's like
I
got
do like that.
flowers, but most of them haven't been watered.
And for
It's
some
like-
reason, they've got like a bunch of skulls, and so they try to keep putting bows on it, and it's just not working. It's
Yeah.
just not the vibe.
The other
They've
thing
tried their best. That's
They
the-
tried their best. They are pirates.
to go along with that, something which I was thinking was along with it being the crow's nest, and obviously the focal point of gaining information if you're on a ship, was that this would be your key area for gaining any information about Staros. It looks over, it has a lot more interest, it has a lot more knowledge of the area than anywhere else. But to shy and try and not make itself a target, it tries to hide that by trying to make it seem like it's a tourist destination, of us the other ones tend to leave it alone. It is trying to disguise itself, whereas effectively it's almost like a double agent of the area. Because no one in Staros wants their business known to anyone else.
I think it's also the point that people would go to for the easy to access black market. Like,
Yeah,
this is where you go because it's the easiest one to get to.
makes a lot of sense.
Like, that's my thought of the crow's nest. It's the place that the average person could get to. I love the idea that it's just terribly decorated.
Oh,
I
gotcha.
I love the idea though that like it's terribly decorated, but the pirate captain of it is stunning. Like he, she, they clearly have design and skills with this. It's just that everybody else on their crew is just a moron. Like
Oh,
this
God, yeah.
this guy's going around like full on like, you know, Captain
God.
Hook, like the full crushed velvet jacket
yeah.
and the ruffled shirt, looking like the most suave mofo in the room. and he's constantly like tearing down the worst of the decoration. Like he goes into this pink room with doilies everywhere, and he's just tearing it off the wall. Please, just repaint it. You tried. You tried. Just paint it red.
Like, most of his crew don't even know what like maybe he might give them like a pile of stuff to decorate with sometime, but they don't know what half of the stuff is, so they just kind of like they'll get one of the doilies and just nail it to the wall or something like that.
The idea as well, but when it comes down to it, that is a way to try and win favor with that pirate captain as well, which is you bring them something that'll be of interest. No one really knows what fashionable thing they want, but it's a chance if you bring along something which just happens to pique their interest enough, like a good amount of satin paint.
Do you still have the pirate name generator?
I do. I've got Weaver Swashbuckler Draken.
Ooh,
Okay.
I love the Draken part.
Draken's good.
Cool. Yeah.
I've got Risley. I've got Curtis the Stubborn. I've got Galton Softheart. I'm not bothering with the surnames, so I think we found Draken now.
Yeah.
Draken's a good surname, yeah.
Ransford Privateer.
Ransford. Oh, I like that. That sounds very fancy for.
That does sound very fancy.
Ransford Draken, and then we did have the Handsome.
I mean,
or Handsome as a moniker.
Ransford Handsome Draken.
Yeah,
is a very fashionable pirate.
Fashionable.
Fashionable. Is a very fashionable pirate who is constantly trying to get his crew to actually decorate the ship well.
John, type.
Yes, I can types.
You can type.
I typed an entire sentence this week at work. One key up and to the left of where my fingers should have been before the keyboard and the computer registered what I was typing, and the entire thing was just gibberish.
Yeah. I used to get that with my old work because I was like, I had my own like desk and everything, but it was also where like the drivers would come in and just like sit. So when I wasn't there, they would often sit at my desk and move my keyboard. And as anyone who worked in an office can tell, if you move a keyboard, it takes like a solid day to find the exact right place again where you can type properly.
Yeah, I definitely know that side of things. And I don't have to work with the keyboard too often. There is a case you need the right positions and all that side of thing.
They do. It all goes to pot.
After we've done the process, I do have another question and maybe an interesting idea for the next.
Okay.
So, majority of the time, besides the map, pirates tend to looks to the stars for guidance, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I had the idea of maybe including a little bit of astrology in there for like a tavern or a boat or a ship, a tavern, or at least another kind of location. To do with astrology, maybe. Because in the name, Star Rose is roughly kind of a star-like name.
I mean, it makes sense. Before we get to that, I'm going to address what Rogue has typed into the comments.
Oh, what do you got, me, buddy?
Two things. One, I assume what's being discussed is the quote marks known history. I think everything we've discussed is largely accurate based on what we know at the moment, but probably some of it is not widely known across Tamrinor.
Yeah, I'd say that's a fair description of it.
And the second point is there space for passages and unknown caverns in the cliff that Staros is lashed to? I think certainly.
I mean,
Oh god, yeah.
it's like it's a pirate town. They're gonna have tunnels.
If there weren't
Or
tunnels
through-
there before,
or
there are
through that
now.
fucking cliff. It's
Oh
gonna-
yeah. To be fair, I would love for there to be effectively there is a faction of different pirates from different ships who are probably on lower ranks, saying we're talking right down the bottom, treated like garbage on their own ships, have come together and effectively have created a thieves guild of Staros, which
That's
they'll go around and steal and accumulate different things, and they use the tunnels in a manner which they have crafted into the cliffs and used the natural tunnels and adapted them so it'd be a perfect fighting terrain for them.
the Thieves Guild of Staros is like saying the people that organize a piss up in a brewery. Like it's
Oh god, yeah. It is effectively, we're taking it to the point where these are the thieves that steal from the thieves. And to that point though, you are stealing from, these are probably the most professional of the lot. They have to be, otherwise they don't survive.
well, those that have got a nice tunnel is. I was thinking Innsmouthy culty stuff, but could tie into the astrology stuff that Tannie is about to talk about. I mean,
Oh.
also culty pirate tunnels.
That's true.
That sounds fun. I mean,
Oh,
one of the things that we're gonna possibly talk about in another, we are going to talk about in another stream because we're not going to do it in this one. I want most of the towns, if not all of the towns, to have some sort of adventure hook, so that when people are writing their adventures set in Tamrinor, which hopefully they would do with the book, they've got some ideas. And so we've got some we've got some things like at the moment in Southaven, Nissa Dawnbreaker is an Antari touched, a Asimar. She doesn't know this. Nobody knows this. So I think there is something there that is very much, there is an adventure around this character who is, from everything we've written about her, very much like Brandy from the song that features in, amongst other things, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, where it's, she's the barmaid that everybody comes back from the sea to see this person.
Oh.
But she's also like a semi-divine being, literally a semi-divine being.
Hang on a sec.
So Rogue suggests a long-lost sea observatory.
I like that. I like that a lot, actually, when it comes
it's very
down to it.
interesting.
I
Yeah.
get
Well-
the feeling that was also sort of where you were starting to head to, Tannie, is that like
Yes.
the
Because there's also not only there was just a bit of actual history, history's traditional way of learning how to navigate the seas, but also there can also be a mythological kind of way to put it as well. There's good potential to be the fact is that there would be certain people that really do depend on depend on the stars to show the way in certain things like that. So it could work for a long lost seas observatory, which would be fun, I think. My brain has decided to go quiet for a minute.
You
okay.
stop it.
So as a
Yep.
as a building, I'm going to add to the list at the moment, because I like the idea of a long lost sea observatory still being long lost when we write the campaign setting, because things that are long lost give you something to go and look for, whereas if they've already found it, you go, let's go to the long lost sea observatory, it's over there, follow the signs,
I would
here's a
like
map.
to twist that a little bit, that one has found it, but they can't find their way back out of it.
I mean, that's
I was also
perfectly good too.
thinking
I'm going
I
to
was
throw
also
down that there's.
thinking,
I'm going to throw down that there is a ship that is, and I'm open to slight name tweaks on it, but something along the lines of the Navigators Guild, where all of the ship's navigators have gathered because they're not needed anymore for navigating the ships. All of the ships are tied to this cliff. They're not going anywhere. They've gathered together all of the maps, all of the navigational equipment, everything into one ship, and now they're cartographying the secret tunnels through the mountain,
Which is very good.
singing songs about it, obviously.
I was thinking more like the whole idea with the astrology thing. The other thing I wanted to do was a tavern that's dedicated to one person that had helped them get to Staros, in my opinion, or navigate them to Staros, or created Staros in a way. To like, let's say like they go on a journey and they have a trouble, and so they look upon the stars. They're like some sort of magic person, like someone with a bit of magic in them, and so they led them back to Staros. And unfortunately, they at some point they pass, and so there's a tavern dedicated to them, in a way, and they are known as the astrologer. Maybe. Maybe.
I must say, I was just then thinking when it came down to the observation building, the one person who's sort of stuck down there. It's the person who's been studying it for a very long time and effectively almost like maddened by
Of course, he's studying it for a very long time. He can't get the fuck out.
Well, exactly. He's got nothing else to do. So, in an effort to try and keep his sanity, whether or not he's achieved it is a different matter and up for debate. He has been studying the maps and believes he has come across a manner of prediction. Whether or not this is true or not is up once again up for debate, and there's a chance that it could go either way. But I would love for that one to be a story hook that you come across it and basically he starts scrambling towards you and telling you that either the world's going to end or this place or that, or it's going to be destroyed if we don't do da-da-da-da.
I mean, yeah, we'll, as I say, that's not what we're doing here. We'll come to that.
Now I really want to listen to sea shanties. Thanks, guys.
We'll move on from Staros in but a moment when I finish typing this bit.
Yee.
Rogue says, actually, speaking of sea shanties,
Oh.
which has me concerned.
Well, there was once a ship that was put to sea.
What was the name of that shit?
You wouldn't want to know.
Oh, okay.
But I gotta know. Was it the Billy O.T.?
No.
What was it in the end then?
No.
Ah.
There once was a cat with a hungry belly. The name of the cat was Christmas Jelly.
I'm also looking at cat videos as we speak. Meow. Ah, more.
It died. I've died now. Dead.
No, I want us to see that. Oh no.
Okay. Actually, Rogue does bring up a good point. How does one get punished in Staros, as you can't exactly have a drunken sailor keel hauled in the sky? You can, because they've still got the keels.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're still dragging them underneath.
I'd say it's even a bit worse in the sky because
Also, my also worry about the planks. Like, how are you gonna walk them off a plank?
it's real easy.
Once
Gravity
again,
still
the same
works
thing
real
sort of
well.
happens.
Gravity still
Yeah.
applies, just there's no nice soft water at the bottom.
No. You could
I
make
mean,
it like
possibly
I was gonna say you might.
you have the lower ones that are over the water still that you do for like these are the minor offenses, but if you do something real bad, you walk off the crow's nest. Oh boy. You
I
better
just
have
had a really weird
You could
idea,
just
by the
literally
way.
have, like, rather than a gallows or anything, you've got like a diving board set up.
No, I had a really interesting idea, but this is not even gonna work. But many years ago, I created a character in Naruto who was originally in the land of wind, or AKA the Sand Village. But what was different about him is that he's able to control water. He was originated from the land of water, where they had shark guys people there. And for some reason, he had a shark summon, but he was living in the fucking desert. And so he has a random land shark, and then thinking about Jeff the land shark, I'm like thinking, what if one of the actual not dragon kings, the one of the pirate kings had the actual ability to summon a shark at their own will, and it's just like kind of a ghostly phantom like shark
Oh.
and still able to like freaking hurt somebody. No, it's in my brain, and I need that in my head.
Well, in your head it can stay for the moment.
Oh,
I might take that note.
good. Do it.
1 second.
What are the
Notes to expand. Long lost sea observatory. Mad pirate. Future sight. Omens. Ghost shark.
go shark?
Dum 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 dum.
Damn it,
Jaws
damn it,
theme.
damn it, damn it, damn it.
Okay, Stone's Grave.
Alrighty then.
Okay, yeah, actually that one's the better note to take. Thank you, Rogue. Ghost
No.
shark doot 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 doot.
Go shark, go shark, okay.
Stone's Grave, the home of the dwarves.
I need to say this one right away because I also had a tavern name generator up, and the first one that popped up was the Fascinating Boulder Pub.
Fascinating Boulder Pub.
The Fascinating Boulder Pub.
Amazing.
I would love if that's its literal translation.
Yeah.
I give it more of a. In its original term is but it just turns out to be the Fascinating Boulder.
It's the fascinating boulder the size of a building.
Yeah, that's what made it fascinating. I also later on in my list, I also got the sad boulder.
The boulder feels conflicted of hurting a girl.
I would
The
love for
boulder
it
is
to
no
be
longer
along the lines
conflicted.
that the boulder happens to have a face on it, and they haven't decided whether it was a deity or not.
Oh, that'd be so cute, actually. It has to be a very interesting kind of phase as well.
It's like
Well, we're gonna have to leave that
like
up to our artists. I'm not too sure whether they're gonna handle it.
it's the face of handsome Squidward.
Oh, it has to be so. It's got to be chiseled.
Yeah,
That'll be very chiseled.
literally. But
Rogue Trader says Sisyphus approves. Okay, so let's discuss the fascinating boulder.
Well, it's an interesting boulder, you see, because it looks like it has a face.
We've mentioned, Ben, previously, you and I have mentioned when we did the deep dive into rock bottom.
Yes.
We talked about the Hard Place, which was a tavern owned by a dwarf.
Yes.
where the chairs seemed to be made from a refined stone, but it's an illusion that covered the actually comfortable chairs because he couldn't get the right stone to make the chairs.
Yes. In which case, I would love for this one to be with the right stone.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking this is like this pub is entirely carved out of stone, isn't it?
Yeah, like you
Yeah.
can't move the tables, you can't move the chairs. They're all hewn out of the floor, essentially. It makes tavern brawls very unfulfilling because most of the stuff you can't pick up and hurl.
Oh
Yes.
god, I would love for there to be a tavern brawler who's created a character.
Everyone tries to grab
Oh,
the chairs or flip the tables and they can't. It's like,
If anything, the locals are trying to figure out what on earth they're trying to do. Just
what are they doing?
Why are they doing that? The chairs are really nicely made.
it also amazes the life out of them when they go to new locations and see exactly that. But
It's moving.
pick that up. How did you do that?
This weird brown rock that all the chairs are made out of.
It is really comfortable to sit in.
And I'll say that'd be the other side of things. It's comfortable even if you're not a dwarf. Because it would feel like it's something which is designed to be comfortable for them, but yet somehow it's comfortable for other races.
Probably the generations of dwarven butts weathering the stone to make it just nice. No,
Tannie has done the thing, guys.
I'm gonna post it in.
Currently, so
I'm gonna post it in the streaming chat.
Yep.
There we go. That is the very interesting boulder's face.
I love it so much.
1 second. I'm going to get this on the stream. There we go.
that's the interesting boulder.
Fascinating boulder.
It's so fascinating.
I don't know who
And
this...
somehow there's like some sort of twinkling happening. Leave him alone. That's Kirby. Leave Kirby alone.
But yeah, the twinkling could come from some of the particular rocks, like gemstones, which happen to be in the eyes, or something like that.
I've become a gremlin.
I love the story that it's as they were mining around this area, they just happened to come across this one and couldn't decide whether or not it was a god's face or not. So it's just that's interesting, and just built around it.
Doesn't look like any dwarf I know.
Exactly. And it's definitely not Gimbal. I know he has an act for trying to make artwork, but it's not him. Because he always does his own face.
I mean, look at it.
That one's missing a beard.
Exactly, and look at its nose.
I just love the whole thing, but literally, when it comes down to it, everyone who is in that pub is just staring at that boulder.
It's like, oh.
Or every dwarf at very least. Like, the drinks and the food and the entertainment is all secondary to the boulder.
Who is the tavern keeper of the fascinating boulder?
Squidward.
Oh god, I just want to say I threw out Gimbal, and it's not Gimbal's face. I'd love for Gimbal to be the one who came across it, but I think we can come up with better than Gimbal.
Reminder for the names of dwarves. Their first name tends to be onomatopoeic in nature. Their family name is either where they were carved or the materials from which they were formed. So would the owner of the tavern, I'm assuming as they are in Stone's Grave, would they come from Stone's Grave? Are they a local person?
I would think.
Don't know why. I just keep thinking of the word swoosh.
I would love for him to have literally been carved from this area. From not that stone, obviously not, but effectively when they were building this area, the family who was doing so decided to carve from the stone around here as well, which is the reason why he feels so connected to it. Obviously, we don't know the name of this stone, but I would imagine the dwarves would have given it a name.
Yes.
So,
I mean,
what
would
would we
they-
say that the dwarves would name this stone?
Would they literally just call it Stone's Grave? Like that would be the surname of some of the people that are formed, or the Huon name of some of the people.
Actually, no, that would make a lot of sense. He got literally formed in Storm's Grave.
Stone's Grave.
So, he is something Stone's Grave.
I'm going with Swoosh Stone's Grave.
Yeah!
I like it.
Stone. It just works. You know, I will make a proper, nice, decent artwork of this one of Swiss Stone.
Okay.
Just gonna look amazing.
Moving right along. The Tavern of Sunspire.
This is the avians.
This is the avians' home. Sunspire is typically only accessible by those with flight, but there is a communal area. And I feel that there would be a tavern within that communal space. Where's my tavern names list? Is there anything birdie left?
I
Well,
get the feeling that something's flight.
Oh, come on.
What?
Not to that. I went back onto the tavern names, and in the first bunch of names, the Grumpy Hawk.
well, I mean, unfortunately,
It's listening to us.
yeah.
It really is.
The
so creepy.
The only one I have on my list of tavern names is the Frothy Phoenix.
I like that one.
Which is bird named.
It is
The
birdie.
Phoenix would be an amazing one as well, just for the sake, once again, legendary bird and all that side of things. That's, it is of such a rarity. The frothy, I don't quite like that. The frothy Phoenix does have a nice drink to it.
Yeah, next.
I would like to even place down that is the signature drink of the location as well.
Yeah.
You know what's really interesting? They actually don't sell like alcohol. They just sell like lattes and cappuccinos and such.
Even better than that, that is effectively what they do sell.
That's
But
not how you spell Phoenix, by the way. Surprisingly, it's actually the E and O are switched around.
But
I feel that too.
I would love for it that it is not actually effectively alcoholic as sorts. It's more it has a particular chemical in it which doesn't affect avians. But anyone else who drinks it would seem to have an alcoholic effect. That's why everyone else thinks it's a tavern.
The thing is, though, I had a really interesting of like their own kind of drinks. So majority of the time, birds normally like to eat like seeds and nuts and such, right? What if like their own way of like alcohols and such are very, very like nutty and seedy?
We have mentioned that they make wine.
Yeah.
I think you can make wine with some sort of nuts.
There
right?
are ways. I mean,
There are
effectively,
ways.
you can make a lot of things into one. Effectively, I mean, you end up thinking mead and stuff like that is along the same lines anyway, and it's more a case of the mixture, and so long as it can ferment, you can effectively make a wine out of
If
it.
it can ferment, you can make it wine or beer or something to the extent.
Exactly.
Oh,
It's just
I'm really interested in how like an alcohol out of like I don't know almonds, like a mead almond kind of thing.
I mean, I'm hard tempted to give them a sort of a style of traditional sake created over in Japan, where considering birds are very much, at least when we end up thinking about regurgitating to provide food to the young, having that sort of mix where effectively they gestate them with themselves and then spit it into a jar, very much like the traditional rice wine, which would have been chewed by fair maidens, spat into a jar, and left to ferment.
Oh god, imagine like the people that's outside of avian culture would be like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, but
What
you
the
end up
fuck?
thinking that we get that when it comes down to different cultures anyway. But you sort of throw down that this whole side of it, but it's something which
I mean,
is
just
accepted and
picture like
understood.
civet coffee.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I was going to say you were saying about almonds. I just remember that obviously there is amaretto, which is an almond liqueur.
It's
Yeah.
so nice. I love amaretto.
And
Speaking
it's
of amaretto,
effectively
I've
could
got
be argued
amaretto
an
cherry
almond
fudge in
wine.
my fridge at the moment. Weeble, weeble, weeble. Weedle, weedle, weedle. I don't know why I'm saying it, but it's making my brain happy.
Rogue says, honestly, that avian booze reminds me of the Swedish's obsession with rotten fish.
Oh.
Wait,
They do have an obsession with rotten fish.
that is so weird. Damn you!
There's no weirder than some of the many other, I use heavy quotation marks, delicacies of some countries.
You know what? There's a
course.
fair point.
He also mentions our own obsession with sardines.
Exactly.
What is the name of the owner of the Frothy Phoenix?
So, what kind of name are normally for avians anyway? Like,
Long.
is there like kind
Typically, they have a shortened name that other species use that is also they have a longer version of it. Most avians tend to have a very long name, and the older they are, the longer the name is. So,
so like Lady Delilah.
Lady Delilah, etc.
Yeah, but she was a geek.
So, for instance, in Rock Bottom, we had the Fleetwing, Runewind, Elated Doric, or Fred.
Oh, shorten as Fred.
There you go.
Let's see.
We've also obviously had Eric, who was Even-Eye, Runewind, Ironheart, Cloudhand, shortened to Eric.
Let me make a name up. I really want to make a name up.
Okay, if you make the name up, Ben, what's he like? He or she like? Give me a personality.
I kind of want this one to be an old adventurer who has come to effectively retirement now. They have seen a lot and have gained a lot of respect for other cultures, which is that's why he doesn't mind when they come in. And it's very impressive they've actually managed to make their way up top. If nothing else, it becomes a testament to themselves. So a rather hoity-toity sort. Believes in a person's worth after it's been proven rather than just taking them at granted. And I would sort of place them like a worldly traveled character of sorts who has more knowledge for the sake of where they've traveled and how they've traveled rather than knowledge on specifics of different locations. Basically, they know what they know, and what they know is enough for what they know. They're happy with and content with what they have, which is the reason they've settled down. And have gathered enough names to make themselves happy. And content to show themselves off even to the highest of society. I would also like to suggest, and depending on, I know that people are coming up with names, I'm going to leave you to come up with names, that when it comes down to the shortened version of the name, he doesn't like the acronym of his name, so has decided to use a different name that he has heard before that likes for our reason. I'll leave that to the name makers.
Shit. So I'm assuming this is a dude, right?
You don't have to do that side of thing, but it was something which I like the idea of that. You know, he has a name which is an acronym of his names, but he just doesn't like the way it sounds. So he's
We have
decided to
not
take
yet
on a different one.
Fixed a gender to this person, but
No, we haven't.
Cool. Right. Because I'm thinking, okay? I'm having a good old think.
Just keep throwing other things into the mix, so that just to completely throw Tannie off while they're trying to make a name.
And I'll
They don't like the letter Q.
There's something about the name Archibald that just makes them feel sick.
Yeah. And all the letters that are contained in Archibald.
Rogue, to answer your question, I think that there probably are, but we've established that the avians also tend to carry a scroll or a book with their names around in. So while they probably would, like, they will reach such a level of fame that they are known by a single name, they would still have a, like, they would feel pride that they could be so known that they are Steve.
There is still one which I would love to throw down, like the most famous of all the avians. Has literally one name, but if in polite situations where they introduce proper, it takes half an hour to fully say his name.
I mean, I feel that the closest we have to that at the moment, in terms of characters that we currently know about, is Eric.
Yeah.
Like, Eric is a very well-known avian among every race. They traveled around 150 years or so before the events of the storyline, which, to be fair, at the moment, we don't know if that means that they are still around and just a very, very old bird.
That's very true. Because when it comes down to the myth and legend and all that sort of thing, there's a chance of maybe they're still adding to it. In which case, the name could have got longer.
I mean, I think it's almost certainly longer than it was when we canonically have last seen Eric. His name would have grown since then, because at the very least, one of the things that we haven't discussed in the canon is that he would have fought against against an outbreak of the Panic Moon alongside Mira and Tak, and fought against the forces of the corrupted forces of the Gygaxian. So he would at least have 2 titles from that, let alone any other titles he might have picked up in his grand adventuring days. Tannie, how's the name looking?
I think I've got it.
Okay.
As long as he isn't 7 letters, he hates the number 7.
What is the name?
Okay.
But we do need to
making
create a
sure.
character with that, just for the sake of a hint towards Terry Pratchett.
Okay, so the anthem is Runa. And the full
R-U-N.
name Runa. Runa.
Okay.
And the full name is Rika Umberite Nightshade Aster. Me trying.
Rika Umberite
Nightshade Aster.
Nightshade Aster. Spelt like that
Where we're looking at.
on what I'm sharing.
Yes. Right. Rika, switch the I with the Y.
Rika Umberite Nightshade Aster.
Oh, and change the right to R-I-E-E, not R-I-H. So
R-I-T-E.
yeah, Amberite, yeah. Runa.
Rika Umberite Nightshade Aster or Runa. I wonder if
Very
avians
nice.
on Staros would have a bit of the ship they've served on. Probably. Staros has 2 R's. But otherwise, yes, spelt exactly like that. Yeah, I think they would do. Or any that serve on ships would keep the ship name and what they did
It's
on
more
it.
on lines of the nicknames they've earned from the ships.
Well, I think even if they don't earn a nickname, they would have, like, they would have a name that was, like, served on.
Oh, yeah.
Served on the Dark Spine's keel. Now, Tor Point is a ruin, so moving on. Is there a tavern in Tor Galad? I don't
I'm not
think
sure
it
whether it
makes
necessarily.
sense.
I don't think there would be a tavern as such. I think it'd be along the lines of like a meeting place, but it wouldn't be a tavern.
Like I don't know if the words. Am I thinking of respite?
Yeah, a place of respite, I would imagine. Yeah, but I don't know whether it'd be a named location, more that opening over there where people sort of gather and we cook and we share what we have.
Actually, I'm going to say we're going to take a quick break because I need to go for a bio break real fast.
Okay.
You guys can entertain the chat for a few minutes. I'm gonna press
Sean, start juggling.
I already am.
Oh, jeez.
Why did I decide to do this with 47 balls?
Not the balls.
Start the
Oh,
chainsaws.
This is too many. Oh, the chainsaws as well.
Oh God.
We're gonna run a quick ad break.
And 3 live baby pandas. Oh God.
This is a reminder for anybody that's watching. The ad break tends to be a little bit louder than we are, and you're not going to get a warning for this one. We're going to run an ad break. I will be right back.
Oh, my juggling, John.
Da, 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 da. Oh, my water. I'm running out already. Oh God.
I've
Well
got
then.
lemonade. I've got water.
I mean, I'm just sitting here burning stuff, so you know. Okay.
It's interesting because someone who wouldn't know about biography would know.
Well, I know if I'm talking about. I know.
What? Yeah. We've got some really good stuff happening here now.
It's too warm in here.
Yeah, I didn't think they would have like an actual name for like taverns and all that.
What the fuck? Revenge of the Ronin? What are you? I don't want to trailer. That looks like pants. That's what it looks like. It also looks like pants.
You know what I think, guys?
Hello.
I don't think
Ah.
the lads say it online.
I have returned.
Hola.
I think
Good
the ad
evening.
break ran.
Did it?
Oh no. It
Look here.
I pressed the
Shall never
button.
know.
I pressed the
No,
button
no,
and it
no.
says the ad starts now in an hour and 36, which means it's off the normal schedule. So that's cool. Yeah, I agree that I don't think there would be a named tavern in Torgalard.
No.
They might have a space that they go to meet other than,
Yeah,
you know,
like possibly like a covered area, maybe got some seats and things, but yeah, not a named location.
I am going to quickly I'm going to hide the press that button. There we go. I'm going to open the book because I need to find the name of the other settlement that we placed near Torgalard. That was one of the two war camps. In fact, I need to find both of the names of the war camps for us to name the taverns in those places. One of them is the human settlement of Tays Hall. And the other is called something else.
That sounds like a weird name to call something.
Well, they're very obvious. It's like this is one place and hero over here is something else. Silvarin.
Oh.
Silvarin is an elven encampment, or was an elven encampment during the Holy War between Ravenseat and Torgalard. And it's easy to miss from the ground because it is a treetop encampment because elves.
Yeah.
So Silvarin, Tays Hall. No, wait. Tays Hall was one word? Yes. Tays Hall. Let's bring back the notes. Let's surround these with the things that make them the doodah. A doodah.
I need more water right now, but I can't be asked to move to get more water.
And let's copy my notes from here and put it into here and say Silvarin is an elven encampment. It is predominantly an elven settlement built into the treetops. Now, I think they would have some form of tavern or inn, or at the very least, communal space where people can meet up and drink. What do we think that's called?
Hmm.
I don't know.
The only thing that pops in my head is something to do with Meadows. Meadows' grave. Meadow. Something with the Meadows.
If it's like a treed area, I wouldn't think meadow.
Yeah, I don't know why Meadow came in my brain. Birch.
I was thinking of birch.
Birch.
First of all, what was it?
Birch
I mean,
crown?
admittedly, I didn't. I do conveniently have one of my tavern names. Did include a tree.
Okay.
Not a birch, but I do have the whispering yew.
Oh, I like that.
Mm.
Oh, Sean.
What good things.
That's real good though.
Well, obviously, if you're set on birch, it could be the whispering birch. That also works.
I do like the whispering. With the whispering birch. Yeah, that's cool. Things out of like if we don't like one bit, but the other bit like that bit, we can always combine it. We've just done today.
Is a small tavern built
Small.
in and around the top of a birch tree. Just make it really awkward. The whispering birch built around the top of a yew tree.
Yeah. Awkward AF.
It's a communal meeting point, drinking establishment, run by... It's going to be run by an elf.
I feel so.
Tannie, give me a personality.
I would say this person is quite joyful. Very people pleasing. Yeah, joyful, people pleasing, very friendly. Also they're quite protective as well, maybe like as in like if people come in and they make a mess of it, they're very like, hey, yo, like very strong about it, like don't.
Let's give us a gender.
Let's go for a lady. Let's go for a lass. Friendly lady girl, lady elf. Who, yeah, very protective. Let's say the place is like the Whispering Birch has been around for years and has been like in her family line for years. So she's very, very protective of all of her patrons.
I mean, she's an elf.
With elves being long-lived, it's maybe that she's been the only owner so far.
She is likely to have been the only owner.
Makes sense. So she probably like, you know, like, hey, I've had this for fucking years. Don't fucking wrong with it, please.
I got an itchy nose.
Okay. Somebody. Tannie, do you have a D20 to hand?
I do.
Okay, before you roll it,
Yep.
pick from magical, heroic, heartthrob, or ancient.
Let's go for heartthrob.
Okay, roll me a D20.
Got a 15.
Jehovah.
It's a weird name.
Jehovah?
Yes. Jehovah. And then I'm going to look at my list of names to see if I've got a surname that we've not used yet. Vexis. Silverleaf.
Silverleaf's good. Do you have a silverleaf? Or something to do with the birch. Maybe it's like silver birch or something.
Silverbark.
Silver, yeah, close enough.
Giova Silverbark, who is protective of her patrons and has been here since the Whispering Birch and the town itself was founded.
Yeah.
Okay, the next place on the list. Taze Hall.
Taze Hall.
Just sounds like Taser. Someone's getting sapped today.
Taze Hall is a small settlement near the outskirts of the forest of Torgalard, which originated as a military encampment during the holy war between the Elves of Torgalard and Raven's Seat. General Tay was a strong leader in the human military and built a strong base of operations to ensure that his forces were safe, and he was able to take in the intelligence from the front lines. Following the war, his hall remained and became the town hall and central meeting place within Taze Hall. So I think the tavern is going to be that place, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
What's the
What is it?
what's the name for
Yeah, very, 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 very.
the Drill Hall?
Well then.
Hey, Law.
More times we say Lawfell, we just summon Law herself.
Bye,
We
Ben.
lost the Ben!
Ben went away.
Ben says his mic has gone silent and he needs to go.
So
Have a
It's
good
just
rest of the
us three.
stream. It is
How
just the
long?
three of us. And Law and Rogue. And anybody else that's watching. Hello, anybody else
My
that
cat
might
is
be
watching.
watching.
It's my cat.
Hi, Meryl. Meow.
Meryl.
She
The
is
drill
now looking
hall.
away and looking at the TV. She's now looking at the windows. Oh,
You've been packing camping and cosplay stuffs and am tired. I'm okay. How are you? Oh, how are you? You just said, how is everybody else in the stream? Sean and Tannie. Go.
hi. I'm good.
That's what I say. Flair.
Bleh.
Who runs Taze Hall, like the drill hall now?
You.
Now for a helpful answer.
Let's see. So,
Gwerngower.
How are you spelling that?
GWERNGOWER.
Gwamgawa. That's a very interesting.
Oh, I like that surname. Gwerngower Tayson,
Tayson.
son of Tay.
Yeah. Why not?
Gruff, militaristic.
Yeah, he was like an ex-soldier or something. So yeah, like just gruff. Maybe a couple of like scars on his face and elsewhere, but those are the ones you can see. And he takes his he's very protective over his tavern, his place. And while he might have someone who like is there to like assist when if it gets rowdy to like with any troublemakers, but at the same time he also will get stuck in with that because he can fight.
I've got another book with a long list of names in it.
A long list of names.
Where are the names in this book? This book I need to tell Tannie a bit more about, actually, because this is a book that I think did I show you what I got for my birthday, Tannie?
I think you did, but I didn't seem to quite caught on about it.
This is a book that Jen and her mum got me called the GM or the Game Master's Book of Astonishing Random Tables.
Oh, interesting.
And the foreword is written by one Robbie Damond.
My boy, my man, Robbie Damond. Oh, I did not know you wrote a book.
Never heard of him.
Does this not have names?
Can you get that? Can you get that for me for my?
No. It's impossible.
Impossible.
This is the only copy that's ever been created.
They did do a book on dragons, and I have it. It's over there on the shelf. Okay. I also got the Game Master's Book of Non-Player Characters. I don't remember if this has a random... This does have a random character generator on page 267.
267? That's like so many more pages.
Okay. So we're going to generate the name of the person who assists Wormgower if he needs to kick someone out. I'm going to stick with this page of the book. Tannie, could you roll me a D20?
Yes. Six.
Edvoldo. One second, I will also have to write this down. Edvoldo. And then another D20.
Yeah.
9.
Protheru. And then another D20.
15.
With eager eyes and silver hair.
Nice.
And then another D20.
19.
Who needs to follow his crystal ball's will. And then another D20.
Oh, God. 19.
again.
16.
Uh,
Seem to like the 16 and the 9s and the 6 and the 9s for some reason.
I'm going to go with the 19 for this one. That is concerned that the crystal ball is manifesting the future rather than predicting it. And then 16, he has a drafted business plan and a bottle of gin. Edvaldo acts as a bouncer if things start getting rowdy in the tavern. Then the final place that we need to have a tavern, and it desperately needs a tavern.
And that's Tavernton, the tavern town.
Is Vectis Haven, because they sure as hell need something nice.
Yeah.
And they sure as hell need to go drinking somewhere after work.
They do.
And they need somewhere for the punk community to...
Let's have a look here. Got the Old Rat's Inn.
Oh, yes. Okay. Give me some other options. I like that, but...
The cheap Butts Bar. The Drab Hill Pub.
It's got to be called a pub, right?
Yeah.
One of it's got to be a pub.
The Rotten Lavender.
Oh, I like that.
Above that, I've got the Flashy Beard. What?
The Rotten Lavender Pub?
The Rotten Lavender Pub.
I like that.
The one that confused the ever-loving hell out of me is, like, further down the list, I've got the Aromatic Kitten Pub.
Yes.
Aromatic Kitten.
Yes. Okay. For the context of this town, this is a dark port city. It is a grim, gothic town on the on Victorian London dialed up to 11 in fantasy. It's the very worst Fable 3 town.
Not to mention they're quite very high up with the technology, aren't they?
This particular town is a real mix.
They've got technology so far as it helps people keep working.
Yeah.
Like anything flashy or like superfluous technology wise, no.
Yeah. Who runs it? I mean, as with any good dystopian civilization area, it's corporations. We haven't really named who runs it. But it's
just a bunch of...
a lot of aristocrats.
Yeah. Say a bunch of men with very top hats.
Yeah, don't get their boots dirty or anything like that.
They look like pigs. I'm thinking they look like pigs, but they're not. They might as well be pigs.
So I think that we have the Rotten Lavender, and I think we're going to need a second tavern here that's a speakeasy.
The feel that wouldn't have like a regular pub name. It would just be like the
Yeah,
like I don't know.
the pit.
That works.
That's cool. Back down pit. Back down pit. Right,
And
we're
I'm
going.
definitely not
Back
just
down
taking
pit.
that for the fact that Rogue suggested it for the name of the pub in Stone's Grave. But also slightly I am taking it because that thing I said. So what's the Rotten Lavender like? Like, it's a punk pub.
I'm gonna say it probably like quite fancy looking, but it's still a pub.
Wood panels.
And the issue is
much like the Crow's Nest, I feel it's like it's drab because a lot of the places in Vectis Haven are pretty drab. Like from what I remember of our descriptions of it.
Yeah.
So it's like they've made it look as nice as they can, and they've done it up as best they can. But where the Crow's Nest, they've tried to make it look nice, but they've entrusted that task to idiots. This they've entrusted it to people who have they know what they're doing, but they don't necessarily have the materials they need to make it what they want. But they're doing their best they can. So they may have like a couple of bits where they've made it like they'll try to have like done like a nice mural or something, but they won't necessarily have used the right paints.
yeah.
So it'd be like slightly odd coloured.
Or another thing I've noticed, because it's called the Rotten Lavender, maybe like there's a thing that the reason why it's called that is that there's like some sort of kind of rotten smell within the pub, and they've been trying to cover it with lavender, and it's just an awful smell. With a bit of lavender, it's just not easy to.
Yeah.
But thing
It's
is, though, is that if it's a newcomer coming into the pub, right, they will immediately like smell and everything, like, oh god, that does not smell great. But the people that is like has been a recurring customer, recurring everything, that smell don't even bother them. They don't even know there's a smell anymore. It's kind of up to them.
I feel it's not even with that. It's like it may be like near like I don't know, like a rendering plant or something like that.
Yeah,
and so the building itself doesn't stink, but there's something nearby that stinks like rotten and horrible.
And so like flowers, like
they've covered it. But once again, the locals of Vectis Haven or the regulars to that
like
bar,
nose blind.
they don't smell. They just smell pleasant lavender. Oh, it's pleasant. It's lavender, yeah. But they don't smell the rendering plant at all. So anyone new coming into town will come into that bar and think it reeks with like a hint of lavender.
Yeah.
And
I
so
like that.
Oh, what's that? What the hell that stinks? What stink? It smells what's lavender. Oh, you don't know lavender?
I love lavender though, so I think I would be very easily be in Vectis Haven for that.
Yeah. Oh god.
It's getting late.
I'm
We're doing pretty good.
Well, this is the last one we need to do, so we'll finish up after this.
We need a person now, don't we?
I'm thinking the tavern, the Rotten Lavender pub, is owned by a family of I feel there needs to be a halfling involved.
Oh.
Whether it's a family of halflings or a halfling and another race, because the halflings, we've sort of dotted them around. They are the ones that inspire community spirit, that have the best foods. I feel that one or both of the owners of the Rotten Lavender is a halfling.
Good work.
I'm okay with this.
Yeah.
So is it a family of halflings, or is it a halfling and another?
I feel just like a ridiculous brood of halflings.
Oh god, yeah. And they
Like,
have a
you-
very
you
strong
think-
Cockney accent.
It's like you think that there's just like there's a halfling, just like one halfling that's like runs the place, and they just happen to have hired like a bunch, like a load of halflings to help out, but it's actually just all of the kids and all of the kids, like the husband, the kids, the uncle is.
Tannie, give me a name for the family, a family name.
Let's see. Oh, hi, Meryl. let's see.
All of the halfling names are like vaguely happy sounding. Like we've had Apple Pip, we've had what was the one for actually Honeyvale? Bramble Shine.
I just found one called. I've got Dewfoot and Puddyfoot.
I had where did I just saw it? I just had it. Oh, here we go. I had Joyforge. That's Joyforge.
Rogue suggests the Parsnip Waters.
Parsnip Waters.
What do we think? Joyforge or Parsnip Water?
I think we should have two families. Like one of them is a Parsnip Waters, the other one is Joyforge.
I feel the Parsnip Waters. I feel
It's
as
fine.
much as I like Joyforge, Joyforge is too joyous for Vector's sake.
Parsnip Waters.
The Parsnip Waters family of halflings, mother, father, and how many children?
7 children.
Yeah. They've been very busy.
Not all else to do.
They've been. Oh, let's see. And they've got one on the go. They've got the 8th one coming. With the 8th child on the way. It's so common. It just feels so. It still feels so like relatable.
I'll give first names to at least mother and father off stream, but we'll come back to that.
What are the halflings like normal first names anyway? Are they the same like as in like joyful?
Yeah, they're like what we've got so far is Lily is one of them. Rosalinda is another. Like they're fairly.
I've got the names I found is Waylon for the dad, for the husband maybe. And maybe Fleur, like as in Fleur, like Fleur.
Fleur and Waylon and their 7 children, and the 8th is coming soon.
Yeah.
Sorry. Rogue suggests the children's names of Mary, Tony, Larry, Barry, Harry, Tina, Angelina, and Patricia. And coming soon, Bob.
Not the Bob!
Wait, they don't
Oh,
know
no, wait.
what's coming.
Mary and Tony were the mother and father, and then Larry, Barry, Harry, Tina, Angelina, Patricia, and Bob.
Why am I feeling that this might be related to something I'm not catching on?
Okay, so that's. He says no references.
Oh, I see. Just random names.
Just names. The Pit is an underground punk speakeasy. Anti-establishment tavern. Tavern with 2 R's. I'm thinking a goblin because they're sort of the tinkerers.
Goblin.
I do have might have a name for him, but that depends on what are we naming our goblins, really.
We've really only named one goblin so far, who was in Cogsmoot, Lycorious Nightshade.
Oh.
We've not really established a naming structure for the goblins just yet.
Well, I had one name I can see. It's called Dandil. Dandil Gladwell. Dandil. Short. Danny for short.
The Pit is an underground punk speakeasy anti-establishment tavern. Dandil Gladwell is the goblin owner of the establishment that could be reached via a mechanical lift in the far corner of a warehouse by use of the correct passphrase or business card. They
Nice.
have a
Can we not have- Sorry, I'm not liking Gladwell.
No, I don't like Gladwell. Dandil.
Gladwell sounds too much like a Hobbit name. Not Hobbit name, Halfling
Yeah.
name.
Should we just
Okay.
call
Which I
him
know
Dandil?
I know we haven't got a convention for goblins, but it's like, yeah, I feel we've established halfling names as being kind of happy and cheerful, and it's like Gladwell just sounds
Very
halfling.
glad. Yeah. Should we not give him a surname for now until we get anyone? Or do you have one in mind?
I don't have one in mind. It's just like I don't like Gladwell.
Yeah.
So
mean,
Tannie,
you can-
roll again on any.
It can be filed away for someone else, but I don't feel it fits underground speakeasy goblin.
Let's see what I've got.
Large dance floor.
Valrand, Howlcrown, Wendell, Glider, Haverswitch, Sinclair, Delta Fair, Werribee, Devonic, Ableleaf, Gallowwood, Adamar.
Adamar.
Yeah, Ademar. Adamar.
ADE.
I like Adamar, but maybe make it Adder, ADDER.
Oh, I like that, yeah.
Adamar.
What was it?
Dandil Adamar is the goblin owner of the establishment that can be reached via a mechanical lift in the far corner of a warehouse by use of the correct passphrase or business card. They have a large dance floor which play punk music. Which plays punk music.
Yeah. Sex Pistols.
Yeah, the sex hand crossbows.
Yeah.
The fornicating crossbows, the
trying desperately to think of every other punk band.
Trying to think of any punk bands. 1 second.
Oh. Yeah, a lot. The Sex Pistols are the only one you don't need to change. The rest of them, like the Clash,
everybody else is the same.
Germs, the Damned, like Black Flag. A bunch of them you just keep. Just...
Imagine like naming a band called the Flapjacks. Or Flapjacks. Flapjacks.
Oh, we got a couple that we would need to change. Television, 1973. They're a punk band. We have to think of someone someone from a different font.
Can we name the Flapjacks?
We haven't named it yet, though, have we? Have we?
Have we named what?
We haven't named it yet. So there is a... Flapjacks would make sense in a town that doesn't like people like making people happy. In Vectis Haven, we have a the unofficial version of the flag that we've mentioned is the flag with the cog removed or the cog broken and cracked. We haven't yet named the group that uses that graffiti, but I feel that they meet in the pit.
Yeah, 100%.
Do we literally just call them the broken cog? The cracked cog?
That would work. I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
What was
The cog smashers?
Cog smashers. Don't like that one.
Broken cog or cracked cog works, I think.
I'm going to go with cracked cog. I like the alliteration.
Nah, again, that one wouldn't work. I'm trying to think of other names that could possibly be, but it's like, no, they won't work. No, don't work.
Okay, so I think we've got a pretty good list of taverns now. Every town that it makes sense that there is a tavern in now has a tavern. Yeah. Several towns have more than one tavern.
Because they're greedy like that.
Because they're greedy like that. So next time, one, I need to message the council about possibly looking at... Oh, no, we don't need to change the date for the next council because we couldn't change the D&D game to it. Anyway, yeah, next month, we're gonna have another special guest in the tavern. In the tavern. We're gonna have another special guest in the council. The intention and the hope is that next month, in the month of September, we're going to be joined by Obsolete Goat for the council meeting, where we are going to be discussing the monsters of Tamrinor. We are wanting to
fucking yeah.
We are wanting to put together a list of... It's difficult to explain it. Generic monsters that are exclusive to Tamrinor. So not specifically like Steve, but a group of monsters that are specific to Tamrinor, but are generic creatures. I've set everybody the homework of coming up with a couple of examples. Everybody has been given a list of biomes around Tamrinor which they can think about. Everybody that's in the council, I should point out, this isn't necessarily for the people at home, and I don't know how we'd handle giving everybody at home a list of biomes. Plus also, who likes a live stream that gives you homework?
Hi.
Apparently Tannie. And Rogue. Okay, apparently I found the audience for it. Go me. But yeah, next month we're gonna be doing the Monster Mash.
Yeah.
We're gonna be coming up with monsters, and then remaining on the list of things to do. And I welcome others to add to this list because I'm sure there are things I'm forgetting. We need to do the thing we've mentioned about the deities. I want each of the deities to have a holy day associated with them. And I want a list of 2 to 3 commandments that they expect their followers to follow. So that'll be coming up. The other thing that I want us to have a look at and potentially need us to have a think about between now and us finishing the campaign setting is that the new D&D books are coming out next month, and there are some changes to the basic rules, and we might want to reassess where some of our things are based on that. So that might be something that we look at in the next couple of months, how Tamrinor needs to shift with the D&D 2024 rule set. And I'm sure there's some other stuff to cover as well. For now, thank you guys in the chat so much for watching. Thank you, Rogue, for contributing where you have, and where we've included it, we really appreciate it. Where we haven't included, we appreciate the contribution. If you guys haven't done so already, please do hit that follow button. It's a great way for you guys to know we're live, a completely free way that you can support us on the channel. It really does mean a lot to us. We also have a YouTube channel that you can go to catch all of our previous videos. We have a Discord you can join to chat with about the games we're playing and the things that we're doing. What was the other thing we say at this point? We have a website, finalbossfight.co.uk, that you can go to catch links to the YouTube and the Discord so that you can find those things easily, as well as all of our written content, videos, photos, audio stuff goes up on the website as well. The website really is your sort of central hub for everything related to, us. We're now going to go over to the credits screen, where I'm going to apparently now be joined by the tiefling duo of Cherish and Carrion. And we're going to discuss what's coming up this week. So coming up tomorrow night, we're going to be playing the Dungeon of the Mad Mage as the group continue to make their way through the lost levels, and Toya has made some friends in the way that Toya makes friends.
Oh dear.
On Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday next week, the Angel Games player is going to be playing the Angel Games Player Roulette, where they are playing a random game over on their channel. Go and tune in to find out what it is. On Monday night, I'm going to be playing some Dragon Age Inquisition.
Oh, what is happening in there this time?
I am still in the hinterlands.
I knew you would! You're there forever!
I'm hopefully not going to be there forever, but I probably will be there for all of this next stream.
Eternity.
On Wednesday, we'll be back with more FBF Craft v3 on the Minecraft server. Don't know what we'll be doing this week. Might try and get into the Twilight Forest and find the Hydra. We'll see how that goes. On Friday, it is the continuation of the Shattered Obelisk. Hopefully this time the stream will behave. And the group will continue to explore Talhundreth.
basically it's either the stream will behave or that you're actually home and doing it properly and no problems with the connection.
And Saturday next week, it is the FBF quiz night, which really, I guess, means at some point this week I should write a quiz.
You should do that.
But for now, let's do a raid, I think. Where is my button for doing that? Who is live? It is Snowwolf. Let's go and raid Snowwolf, who is playing some Sea of Thieves.
Tea of Steves.
Go give Snowwolf some love. We'll see you guys again real soon. For now, so long. Bye, guys.
Goodbyes.
And